Welcome to the Plan B CRNA podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Jones, and I'm so excited that you're here. The Plan B CRNA podcast is the only show made specifically for nurse anesthetists who are exploring options outside of their traditional career paths. This is the place to expand your mind and your goals as we uncover new ways to produce side income together. Journey with me as I go down various rabbit holes to explore the best Plan B options for you. This episode is brought to you by On-Call Capital. On-Call Capital is dedicated to educating CRNAs and other healthcare providers about investing outside of the traditional stock market. On-Call Capital also provides opportunities for you, yes, you, to create passive income and generational wealth while also lowering your taxable income through investments in the apartment and alternative investment spaces. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, make sure you do that right now so that you don't miss an episode. Thanks so much for joining me today, and now on with the show. Welcome to the Rabbit Hole on the Plan B CRNA podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Jones. Now, throughout my journey in finding a Plan B, I've gone down numerous rabbit holes to figure out which ones work for me. And since I've done some of this research already, I only think it's right to bring that information to fellow CRNAs to help aid in your search. Now, as always, it's important for you, the listener, to do your own research and form your own opinions. Everyone's situation is unique, and a Plan B that works for one healthcare provider doesn't always work for another. Self-awareness is the key in any decision you make, since you must have an accurate grasp of your own strengths, weaknesses, and goals. All right, let's get to it. Without further ado, our rabbit hole of the day is social retail. Now, I know that many of you listening to this show have seen plenty of social media posts from friends and acquaintances who are seemingly advertising for products. From face creams to teeth whitening to CBD products. I'm sure you've seen the full gamut over the years. But what are these folks really getting out of these companies? Well, we see that too, as these same people tout their vacation rewards or a new car that they received as a congratulations for a sales or recruitment milestone. Now, a lot of what you see on social media is known as multi-level marketing, MLM, or network marketing. And yes, I've already covered this topic in another rabbit hole. If you'd like to know more about that, check out episode 16 of the show. So what is social retail then? In short, that is the practice of rewarding customers for engaging with brands in online conversations. It combines physical retail with the latest technologies to reward consumers for what they already love doing, which is sharing certain products and experiences. It's also defined as integrating social media platforms with business-to-consumer processes when online retailers engage with customers through social media avenues such as Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Social media avenues allow businesses to offer unique experiences directly to their customers. It is the new frontier for online retailers. E-commerce platforms like Shopify and Amazon, who are integrating social media and virtual shopping experiences, are becoming more accessible to consumers who will often explore a seller's online presence before making a purchase. It's no longer optional for businesses. It is the reality of today's business-to-consumer relationship. Now, I know that sounds a lot like just some crazy business jargon, so let's just break it down a bit more with some examples from China. Burberry has a 5,800 square foot social retail store in Shenzhen that invites customers to access content via their smartphones. They partnered with tech giant Tencent to use the messaging app WeChat. Through a mini program, users can browse and learn more about Burberry's products. The more a user interacts with content, the better their shopping experience actually becomes. Users of the mini program can collect social currency used to unlock exclusive experiences and rewards. Nike has also introduced a digital concept store in Guangzhou called Nike Rise. The store relies on the Nike mobile app and a feature called Experiences. Nike members can be connected to sports-related activities in their city, including basketball and football matches. Consumers also gain access to in-store workshops and events hosted by Nike's local athletes. A user's digital journey connects them to the energy of the city using the power of sports. Another feature of the store includes a Nike by You personalization bar, where customers can personalize items directly from the app, adding various design elements to jerseys and t-shirts. Okay, that's great and all, but you're probably looking for a side gig, not just more stuff from a brand. So is there a type of social retail where the promoters can actually make money? To move forward, we actually have to go back to the relationship between MLMs and social retail. There are many articles about how social retail is different from MLM, and they focus on the following tenets. Social retail is about real customers, and the compensation plan is tailored to the development of a customer base. In MLM, it's all about the distributor, and other users are almost always other distributors who are recruiting others themselves. The compensation plan is geared towards recruitment instead of actually having customers. Social retail involves real online shops and e-commerce with plenty of product information. MLM often mixes information about products with direct calls to becoming a distributor. Word of mouth for social retail is about recommending a helpful product or brand that you love. For MLMs, it's more about providing someone else a way to make extra money, since the goal is, again, to attract distributors. There are three ways to interact with a social retailer: as a customer, as a promoter, and as a team developer. In MLMs, the only way to really interact is as a team developer, supposedly. MLM products are also thought to be more expensive because so many people must be paid as part of the distribution chain or pyramid scheme. Social retail products, on the other hand, are attractive for customers. Since social retail sounds so much more positive than MLM, there must be a ton of social retail companies out there, right? Well, that's where my search kind of got a bit stuck. The only company that I could find that actively promoted itself as providing social retail opportunities is Modere, a health and wellness company. People have posted a ton of videos describing how social retail is completely different from the MLM model, but nearly all of them mention Modere exclusively, which means those people are probably working for Modere. Apparently, they switched their business model from MLM to social marketing about 5 years ago. Upon visiting the Modere website, they certainly treat you more like a customer than a potential marketer. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, but then again, they also have an average of 2.88 out of 5 in their reviews. Now, granted, it's only 83 reviews, but still, you'd hope for better. Further research into the company shows the continuation of mixed reviews. Some people love the company and the products, and others have had bad experiences with orders or, false fraudulent credit charges. Now, some of these seem typical of any company, though, so I don't really want to read too far into that. The Modere website and products certainly seem to have more detail than the other MLMs I've personally encountered. They also outline their compensation plan for everyone to see, which in and of itself is pretty amazing. Most MLMs don't really want to talk about that, and they certainly don't put the plans out there for all eyes to see. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the numbers here. I mean, I like numbers, but my head was spinning after trying to figure out any sort of actual pay range. Suffice it to say that many of the structures in Modere are still similar to that of an MLM. You are encouraged to acquire customers, build a team, and develop leaders. The rewards from bottom tiers are pretty low, but you can still earn money if you don't develop team members if you have a big enough customer pool. Now, I have no idea what that number would actually be because there are a number of different bonuses that you can hit, and it's all incredibly confusing. But that is the big difference that they tout between themselves and other MLMs. So I kept digging until I found Modere's 2020 income disclosure statement. Again, they are much more open than other MLMs. Thank goodness for that. Now, under the compensation section, it states that generating meaningful compensation as a social marketer requires considerable time, effort, and commitment. This is not a get-rich-quick program. There are no guarantees of financial success, and results will vary widely among participants. To qualify for any bonus, you must meet all requirements of the Modere compensation plan. Unfortunately, not many commission earners make much money from social retail. For Modere specifically, nearly 2/3 of commission earners make less than $200 a month, and 81% of all commission earners made less than $500 a month during the year. Now, yes, there were certainly people who earned more income than this. Approximately 2.3% of all commission earners made $5,000 a month or more. Not great odds overall, though, to make at least 60 grand a year. Now, I don't want to turn this into a Modere bashing or even an MLM bashing session. It is clear that Modere is eager to try something that's a bit different with their social marketing ideas, and it is working for some people. Heck, just listen to my conversation with Ellen Lauletta in episode 35 to hear her success story directly. What is also clear from my research is that we are really in an ever-evolving retail landscape. Influencer engagement on content is actually starting to drop as more people are looking for authenticity in how they purchase goods and services, rather than just a pretty face advertising. Retailers are having to balance influencer content with consumer generated content in their marketing strategies, which means that more money will eventually flow towards the brand awareness, authenticity, and loyalty that only true customers can provide to an audience. Maybe we will see the lines between MLM and social retail continue to blur even more as time goes on, or perhaps another completely different model will come along in the future. Now, if you're looking to get into this type of space, just make sure that you're asking yourself this question: what is that thing that I can do or offer to help make my friends' lives simpler, less confusing, less alienating, more efficient, more meaningful, and just plain better? Becoming a social retailer can really be quite simple if you focus on that question and just be social about it. Making a decent living from it, well, that may be a different story, at least for now. If you'd like more information, make sure to check out the show notes for some extra links. And if you'd like to read about how social retail is actually shaping the retail economy, check out the book, The Impatience Economy: How Social Retail Marketing Changes Everything Now by Augie K. Fabella II. As always, I'd like to thank you for listening to the Plan B CRNA podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you hit subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. I'd also like to hear from you. If you have a question, comment, or rabbit hole topic that you'd like me to cover in an upcoming show, make sure you rate and review on your podcast player. I check those all the time, and I cover those questions in future episodes. If you'd like to connect with me or learn more about OnCall Capital, make sure to find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or visit my website at www.oncallinvestments.com. Until next time, this is Bobby Jones signing off. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Plan B CRNA podcast. If you haven't already subscribed and reviewed the show, I'd be honored if you took the extra time. It really helps to expand our reach and get the word out about the show. If you're a CRNA who is interested in sharing your story on our podcast, I'd love to have you. Please email me at bobby@oncallinvestments.com for more information. This episode was brought to you by OnCall Capital. They are dedicated to helping providers like you develop passive income and generational wealth through investments in the apartment and alternative investment spaces. Feel free to check out their website at www.oncallinvestments.com and subscribe to their free educational email series. You can find OnCall Capital on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also check out our YouTube page, where you'll find all of the show episodes along with other educational videos. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.